Hello all, welcome to part 17 of TestNG training series. In this session, I am going to explain and practically demonstrate how to group the tests in TestNG using or by creating multiple TestNG XML files. As you already know, in a single project, we can create more than one TestNG XML files. Okay, the purpose of creating more than one XML files or multiple TestNG XML files, okay, the main purpose is to group the tests in TestNG case. Okay, different situations you will be asked to run different set of automation tests. Okay, so beforehand you will be creating this multiple TestNG XML files. For example, one TestNG XML file you may be using for running the smoke test. One TestNG XML file you'll be running you will be using for running all the scripts, whether it can be smoke, sanity, regression, doesn't matter. Maybe some TestNG XML files may be created based on the functionalities, guys. For example, login.xml, if you create, okay, when you run that login.xml, it will only run the test related to login functionality. Or there are many other ways we can categorize running our automation scripts based on our need or requests or the work given for us from our clients. Okay, sometimes clients will ask us to run the smoke tests only, smoke automation tests only. Sometimes they will ask you to run only the sanity automation test, regression automation test. Okay, some functionalities only automation test, all automation tests, like that kind of requirements will be coming from the client, and we should be ready for that. And that is possible. One of the way to make that possible, okay, this grouping of the test is possible in multiple ways. One of the ways that people may follow is by creating different or multiple TestNG XML files for different purposes. So here, let's go here and understand this particular thing in detail. Grouping the tests in TestNG using multiple by creating the multiple TestNG XML files. Reasons for categorizing the test. Why we need to in a project, in an automation project, why we have to categorize our automation scripts is smoke tests. Suppose you have to run only the smoke automation test. Okay, how do you do that? Sanity automation test only. Functionality, that is login only, logout only, or register account functionality only, search functionality only. The client may ask you, okay, or a group of functionalities, login, logout, search, okay, register account, like that, four or five functionalities the client will ask you to run, and remaining functionalities you don't have to run the automation scripts. That also may be a kind of requirement. Or functional automation test. Functional means uh, functionality, testing the functionality of the application. Non-functional means performance and security can also be automated, guys. Okay, such kind of requirement also may come where we can categorize our security automation tests. Okay, regression, mean regression. Okay, so as part of regression, what are the tests we have to run? We can run daily build every day when a new version comes. Okay, then which automation tests you generally have to run? Or weekly you may have to run more automation tests, okay, than daily. You want to run, do some extra checks weekly, okay, compared to the daily. If time is not sufficient, you will be running only 100 or 200 scripts, let's say. On a weekly build, maybe you will be running 300 or 400 or 500 more automation scripts, okay, but only once in a week you will be running that scripts. Okay, such kind of automation scripts, okay, you can categorize under weekly build and create an XML file, test in XML file. Okay, that is one of the way. OS based, sometimes you have to run your automation scripts on based on the operating system. Sometimes you have to run your automation scripts on Windows. The client asks you to run your automation scripts on Windows. Which automation tests need to run on Windows, and that, okay, category, you can create an XML file, iOS or Linux operating systems. And sometimes all, you have to run all the automation scripts irrespective of everything, okay, all the categories. Whatever may be the reason, here we have to group our automation test scripts according to the smoke, sanity, functionality, functional, non-functional, regression, daily build, weekly build, OS, and all such kind of categories. We have to group our automation scripts beforehand, before the client asks for this kind of requirement. So for this, one of the way of grouping these automation scripts is to create the multiple TestNG XML files for different category requirements, categories or requirements. How to create multiple TestNG XML files. If you go here, guys, already one TestNG XML file is there. I'll delete that, guys. I'll delete that. Okay, I'll freshly create if required. Okay, that was from the previous instant or previous session. Okay, for now, let's go to src test java, and just for a sample, just want to demonstrate that I'll create a package known as test package. Under this test package, okay, so under this test package, let me delete this, guys. Let me delete this. It's coming with a file. Again, let me right click on src test java and select new and select package. Earlier I selected this option, guys. Next time also it's coming as selected, but this should not be selected. Here I'll give the test package, but this option, make sure that this option is not selected. Click on finish. Now you see only the package came. Under the test package, I'll create a class known as login class. Here in this login class, I will be creating the automation scripts related to the login login functionality, that I'll be creating the test methods for each and every test case of the login functionality. Okay. So if I go to one of the application like this, for example, if I go to one of the application like tutorialsninja.com/demo, if I have to create the login test cases, manual test cases, I'll be getting around 27 to 30 or 25 to 30 manual test cases I will be getting. So we have to automate them, right? We have to automate all those 25 to 30 manual test cases using our Selenium automation or whatever it is. But here I'll not be automating it because you already know how to use Selenium for real time in the previous sessions I covered. But here I will create some dummy test case. Like with normal print statements I'll try to, because I don't want to waste your time. Public void, but test cases will be mentioned properly here. Login with valid credentials. This may be one of the test case, right? For login. Login with valid credentials. Inside that, I'll not be writing the real Selenium code. Here, I'll not be writing the real Selenium code. That will take time and waste our time. So our purpose is not to focus on the Selenium automation here. Our purpose is to focus on the way of grouping the tests so that we can run in a categorized way. Okay, using the multiple TestNG XML files. That is the focus point. I'll import this TestNG annotation, guys. And here I'll, instead of writing the real Selenium automation code, just to make sure that this particular method is running or not, I'll just write a print statement saying login with valid valid credentials login login functionality. Okay. So here, guys, one thing is that I'll give the priorities also. Okay, whenever I create something, right, it's a good idea or best practice to give the priority. Now I'll create one more thing: public void login with in valid email and invalid password. This is test another test I can create under login. Like this, I'll create some sample test case, login, register account, search. Okay, like that I'll create something. Just wait. Mm, priority is equal to 2. I'll say here, I'll say system.out.println. I'll give the name of the method here better. In the print statement, I'll give the name of the method followed by hyphen login. Okay. Then I'll create one more public void login with invalid email, login with invalid email and valid password. Okay. Like this, another automation test at the rate test. I'll say priority is equal to 3. And here I'll write a simple print statement. And in the print statement, I'll be printing the name of the test method followed by the name of the class, that is login. Okay. Login related test cases in simple other words. Public void login with first one was with valid credentials with a valid email and invalid password. Invalid email and valid password. This time invalid credentials, both are invalid, guys. Okay, invalid credential. Login with invalid credentials means email and password both are invalid. So here I'll write at the rate test, then priority is equal to 4 from dot out dot println login with invalid credentials, login with invalid credentials hyphen login. Okay, hyphen login. Then public void login with without providing credentials. Okay, without providing these are all the test cases, guys. For each and every test case, for each and every test case of login functionality, I'm creating a test method. And in the test method, instead of writing the real Selenium automation code, just to save the time, I'm writing a sample print statement so that assume that that is a real Selenium automation code for now. But okay, since it will take a lot of time for me to create the automation script for each and every test case, that is not a good idea. So because our focus is on the other thing, as I already mentioned. Okay, so I'll just copy this name of the method, test method, followed by the functionality, login functionality. Okay, like this, 5 automation tests are there in the login. Similarly, I'll create another one. Right click new class register. Okay, register account or register, whatever you can say. And I'll go to the register, guys. I'll say public void register with only register by providing You can give any name, guys, no problem. Providing only mandatory fields. Register by providing only mandatory fields. Here say @test. Import this @test from TestNG, and here also give the priority, guys. Priority is equal to 1. Now say system.out.println. I know this is a tedious process. Okay, even though I'm not writing the automation code, also still it is tedious. That's fine. There is no other way for me to make it more realistic for you to explain. Again, another one, public void register by providing all fields. Okay, it's not just mandatory fields. Instead, it is all fields. Okay, here again @test, guys, @test. Then priority is equal to 2. Okay, system.out.println. Okay, this test whatever I'm creating, guys, will not be useful only for this session, but also for the next session. Also, this automation test that I'm creating will be useful. So let's take time in creating, guys. Okay, let's take time in creating, because the upcoming 2 to 3 more sessions will be using the same test methods to explain the other stuff also. Okay, so let's create it with patience, and let's be patient. Okay, register by not providing any credentials. Don't provide any credentials and try to create. Okay, register. Sorry, register by not providing any fields. Here I should not say credentials. Fields I have to say. Okay, so system.out.println. So without providing any details, if you try to register, what will happen? All the mandatory fields will be highlighted with the warning messages. That verification will be done in this particular test in real time anyhow. But for now, I am writing only the print statement. Then public void register by providing duplicate email address. So when you try to register with a duplicate email address, it will not allow us to create a account, guys. Okay, it will not allow us to register an account because it will treat that account as a duplicate account. Okay, email is a unique key here. So just try on the application that I talked about, Tutorials Ninja. If you try to create an account with the same email address, it will say that you are trying to create a duplicate account. Okay, so here also I'll give the priorities, guys. Okay, so priority is equal to 3. Priority is equal to 4, like this. I think this is enough for tests. You can create more, guys. Okay, there are a lot of test cases which come, but for sample I will be breaking only 4 from the register. Then I'll create one more or two more, whatever it is. Login register, I'll name that as search, guys. Okay, login register search, let's say. I think this will be enough, I guess. Okay, this search will be enough. Login register and search will be enough. If required, I'll create one more, but I am feeling that this will be enough. Public void. Okay, search for a valid product. This is one of the test case in search. Search for a valid product, guys. At the test, import. Here I'll say priority is equal to 1. System.out.println. Search for a valid product. Here I'll say search functionality. Then public void search for an invalid product. Okay, this time, for example, HP was a valid product. Okay, if you search in tutorials in the application for HP, you'll get a HP some product name in the search results. But if you try for Honda or something, you'll not get that in the search results, but because that was an invalid product. Okay, priority. Okay, then system.out.println. Search for an invalid product. Search for an invalid product and search search. Public void search without any search term. So without providing any details, if you try to search, like without giving in valid or invalid product, if you try to search, what should happen? Okay, it should say that either you have to provide the search keyword, or it should say that there is no results coming from your search because you have not provided anything, or whatever the message. Okay, the application owner decides that has to come, proper warning message has to come. Okay, without providing anything, search without providing anything, guys. This is also such functionality. For now, for sample, guys, let's treat this three as a sample test under the search functionality. Here we have three functionalities, guys. One is login. Then login has 5 automation tests for now. Register has 4. It can have many, but search has 3. It can also have many. But for sample, login has 5, register has 4, search has 3. Now, now let's get into the picture, guys. So assume that in real-time projects, your test package will be there, and for each and every functionality, there will be a functionality related class like login, register, search, and so on. Okay. There may be hundreds of functionalities in a complex application. For each and every functionality, there may be a separate file, and for in that each and every separate Java file, there will be multiple automation tests written like this. Okay. Okay. So depending on the number of test cases that are possible for that functionality that can be automated, will be written inside this respective classes. This is real time, but the requirements will come not in same always. Okay, sometimes what happens is, sometimes the client will ask you to run all the automation scripts. That means how many total automation scripts are there? 5 are there in the login, 4 are there in the register, and 3 are there in the search. 5 plus 4 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12, total 12 automation scripts. If you have to run that, I'll do one thing. I have to create a testng.xml file, right click on the project and select new, and select sorry, we should not be selecting new, guys. Right click on the project and select TestNG here, and say convert to TestNG option. Okay, what we have to do, right click on the project and select TestNG and convert to TestNG, and automatically a refactoring dialog saying generate TestNG XML file will come, and this is the location where TestNG XML file will be creating directly under the project, or you can change the location under this project where you want. You can create a folder, or source folder like src test resources, or different practices people follow, guys. For now, I don't want to make the things complex. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create this testng XML file, testng.xml file, directly under the project itself. Okay. So I can change the name also. It's not compulsory that it has to be testng always. Okay. I can say all tests. Okay. All test.xml. I can give a different name. Okay. You see login, search, and register. All the three classes, login has 5, then search has 4, and register has 4, and search has 3 automation tests. And I can change the order also, guys. So first let's click on finish, guys. So here all test.xml file got created. I have already changed the name here. I will open this XML file, all test.xml file. I'll open. I can modify this XML file. So if I want to change the order of the execution of the classes here, first I want register classes to register test should run. Okay, there are 4 register tests that should run. Okay, after 4 register tests, I want 5 login tests should run. Then search, after login, search test should run. Okay, this is the order I want, and internally we already gave the order of the individual test by giving the priority. Inside the login, 5 automation tests are there, but each one has a priority according to the order they will be executed. That's all fine. But here, this is all test, guys. One of the categories, the client may ask you to run all the tests in the project. Okay, so if you run this, or total 12 automation scripts should run. Okay, so it will not take much time, because there is no need of any Selenium script I have not written. It simply prints out all the methods. Okay, method names. You see, from register, 4 automations: register by providing only mandatory fields, register by providing all fields, register by not providing any fields, register by providing duplicate email address. Okay, for login, you see 5 automation scripts: login with valid credentials, login with a valid email and invalid password, login with invalid email and valid password, login with invalid credentials, login without providing credentials. Here, search for a valid product, search for an invalid product, search without any such term. Okay, these 3 are such functionality. All the total 12, guys. Here you can see the number as 12, and you can also go to TestNG results and see, from test.register you got 4, from login you got 5, from search functionality you got 3. Okay. Now tomorrow the client will say that I don't want all the automation scripts to run. Rather, I want only the smoke test to run. Okay, rather the client will say that I only want the smoke test to run. What you will do? This process will not work. This process will not work. What I will do is, I'll copy this XML file, guys. I'll copy this XML file and paste it again. The project, it will ask for, this time let's say only smoke tests, only smoke. You can say test if you want. It's not compulsory. You can say smoke.xml also, or smoke test.xml. Just click on this. This is all test.xml file. This is smoke test. Open the smoke test.xml file. We'll modify that. It's a copy thing of the all test. So for now, it looks similar to the all test, but we are going to change it, guys. Okay. So how we are going to change this? Here guys, I'm going to do one thing here. The test methods, I'm going to create three tests. Okay, there are three tests. Login is one thing, register is one thing, search is one thing. First one I'll say login, from login test. Second one is what? Uh, register test. Register test I'll say register test. Okay. Third one is search test. Like this, I'll give the test names. And here I don't have to provide all the classes, guys. Okay, I don't have to provide all the classes. So what I will do here is I'll provide only one class. Under login test, I'll provide only login class, guys. Register class I'll remove, and search class I'll remove. And that too, guys, and that too, I don't, all the tests in the login are not smoke tests. You see, this is smoke test. Let's say only the first test, login with valid credentials, is smoke test. Remaining all four, that is login with the valid email, invalid password, login with invalid email, valid password, login with invalid. This is also smoke, guys. Okay, login with invalid credentials and login with valid credentials are smoke. So two test cases for now as part of smoke. Two test cases as part of smoke. Okay, login without providing credentials. Yeah, we can ignore that for now. Login with valid credentials, login with invalid credentials. Let's treat them as a smoke. So what we can do here is we can customize this. Okay, here only one class is there now. I removed the register related class and search related class because this is login test. Okay, here instead of closing the tag here, I'll simply say slash class. Okay, slash class. Inside this, I'll say methods. Okay, I have to include only two test methods as part of smoke from this login. What are the two test methods? First test method is this one, login with valid credentials. So smoke test.xml, I'll simply say include name is equal, name of the test is equal to this one, and self closing tag. That's it. Okay, another include will come. Another smoke test is there from the login, right? That also I'll create here. That is nothing but login with invalid credentials is another smoke. Let's say these are the two smoke tests. Okay, like this I can create. Next one is second test. Okay, here register test. I'll remove the remaining classes, guys. This search and login and search doesn't belong to register. So for register, only register class should be there. And here in the register class, I'll be creating slash class and say include. Let's see the register and see which one is a smoke test. Register by providing mandatory fields. Register by providing all fields. These two fall into smoke, guys. Okay, these two fall into smoke. Remaining two doesn't fall into smoke. So first two test methods will fall into smoke. So I'll say include name is equal to. Okay, again one more include name is equal to. Okay, here I have to say methods, guys. I forgot to provide methods here. Methods, and in the inside the methods I have to provide this. Okay, I'll just provide tab here, tab here. Okay, so two, that's we have to give two, guys. How to give that? First one, let's go here, sorry, let's go to the register.java, and first name I'll give the name of the test and give that on the smoke test.xml file, and second one also register. I'll go, and second test is also smoke test, and I'll give that here. Okay, done. Then third test, search test. In search test, which is a smoke test, let's decide. Let's go to search.java, guys. Search.java. Here, search for a valid product is a smoke test. Remaining all are not smoke test. Only one test is a smoke test. Only this one is a smoke test. So I'll go to smoke test, and here I'll remove the remaining two classes. Register and login I'll remove, guys. Register and login I'll remove. Only the search I'll put, and here I'll say slash class, and here I'll say methods. Only one method I'll include. Only one method I'll include, guys. That is include include name is equal to. Okay, like this you have to give. Search for a valid product is a smoke test. These are the you see, out of the 12 automation tests, how many smoke tests are there? One, two, three, four, just five smoke tests. 5 out of 12. So when a client asks you to run only the smoke test, if the client asks you to run all the tests, you have to run this all test.xml file, right click, run as TestNG. So 12 tests will run. Just see here, all tests will run 12 automation scripts. You see 12 things got printed. Okay, 12 automation scripts, all 12 got passed. But if the client asks you to run only the smoke test, you just run only smoke test.xml file. You have already grouped the tests according to the TestNG XML file. This is called as grouping, right? You see only 5 automation scripts. Okay, two from login, two from register, and one from search. Like this, guys, we can create any number of groupings here. Okay, So for every group, you have to create if the client asks you to run only the login test, for example, if the client asks you to run only login test, what you will do, copy this guys, copy this smoke test, otherwise, copy paste this and here say, give the name as login.xml, click on OK. If the client asks you to run only the login test, okay, already I created login.xml, open that login.xml, it's a copy paste of the smoke test. So here only the login test, only this test I'll keep and remaining all I'll remove, remaining all tests I'll remove. And here also I'll remove the class also. Okay, this include and exclude I'll remove because all the login tests. Yeah, I'll put a self closing tag here at the class level. Okay, done. That's it. Only the login test will run. If you run this login test dot login or login test dot xml file, login test, you can rename to login test if you want. Okay, if you want in the same direction, login test dot xml or login dot xml, anything is fine, guys. If you run this, only the login test will run. You see, only the class level login is provided. All the tests from the login will run. How many tests are there in login, guys? Five tests are there in login. Okay, let's run this login dot test dot xml file. Right click, run as SNG suite. 5 tests, automation tests from login will be running. You see, all the things are from login only. Login with valid credentials, login with the in valid email and invalid password, invalid email and valid password, invalid credentials, login without providing credentials. Okay, different type of requirements will come from the client. Based on that, we'll create different type of different or multiple TestNG XML files having different names, and we'll run them according to the client requirements. This is called as grouping with the help of TestNG XML files. Requirements may come where you have to run only the smoke test, where you have to run only the sanity test, where you have to run all the tests, where you have to run only that particular functionality or a group of functionality related tests. Okay, functional tests, non-functional means performance or security tests, regression tests, daily build, weekly build, OS build, Windows related tests, iOS related tests, Linux related tests, like that and so on. Like that kind of categorizations we have to create different TestNG XML files for running the tests from different categories. This is one of the way. So hope guys you understood how to group the test in TestNG using multiple TestNG XML file. But this is not the only way we can group the tests. There are other ways. Okay, there are other ways by which we can group the tests. Even more flexible way is there, or better way is there. Even more simplest way, because for every category, if you keep on creating a separate TestNG XML file, the project size will become very big. Because again, to categorize the different TestNG XML files, we have to create different packages, folders and all those stuff. Okay, that's a other headache. Okay, in complex projects there will be a lot of functionalities. For each and every functionality, if you have to create for each and every requirement, you have to create a separate TestNG XML file. That will be too much hectic for us. Okay, so there is another best or simplest way that is possible than creating this sometimes creating multiple TestNG XML files is okay, but if in case it's becoming hectic for you to create multiple TestNG XML files for grouping the automation tests, then you can go for the other way of or the best or better way for grouping the automation tests. That is by using the groups attribute. Okay, that I'm going to cover in the next session. So for this session, guys, hope you guys understood how to group the automation tests in TestNG, which are divided across multiple classes using multiple TestNG XML files. So that's all for this session. In the next session, I'm going to cover another TestNG topic for you. Till then, see you. Bye bye.